fam. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm still not over that. So let me introduce myself. My name is Jessica and I am a holistic practitioner, and it is my goal to help my people heal their unique relationship with food, minus any shame and minus any guilt. So let's jump right into the video today, fam. So I feel like we flowing now, honey. We are on episode 3 of the Atomic Habits versus Nutrition series, where I am breaking down steps and strategies on how you can obtain your nutrition goal. This episode today is how to make your nutrition goal easy, baby. But first, let's do a recap. Let's talk about how we got there. In episode 1, it was make it obvious, and that's where we use different strategies. The main strategy being point and call, as Clear would say it, where he's basically, in my opinion, making the unconscious conscious. You're bringing awareness to things that you may not be, to habits that you may not be aware of on a regular basis that can get on autopilot. And you can do that by using what he has called a scorecard, where you're scoring your habits as ineffective or effective. Or you can journal, which is my fave, where you are jotting down and actually writing out your habits over a continuous point interval of time, 2 weeks, to a month is my suggestion. And then there were other sub strategies under there where you're creating intentions on how you plan to implement your new nutrition goal. Then there was habit stacking. Then there was making your environment conducive to your new nutrition goal. And there was also even analyzing different locations in your very own home to see how they help or hinder you towards your new goal. And last, which was my favorite, was dropping the idea that discipline will get you to your new goal. That was just episode 1, baby. All right, so in episode 2, that was all about making your nutrition goal attractive. And how would you do that? Just hold on. So in episode 2, we talked about a phenomenon known as supernatural stimuli, which is basically fancy talk for exaggerated cues in the brain, and also using the dopamine feedback loop that naturally occurs in the brain to your advantage to make your nutrition goal attractive. And you can couple that with what Clear calls temptation bundling, which is where you're taking something that you really want to do or really like to do with something that you need to do and putting them together, and basically just reprogramming your brain to like hard habits, which like the nutrition goal that you have, fam. So you might want to run it back, go look at them, see what they're talking about, because you're not going to want to miss those, and it will definitely connect the dots. And for me, this is a stepwise process. I'm using the laws as stepping tools in order for you to accomplish your nutrition habits. So stick with me, fam, because now we're going to get to how to make, now that we've made it obvious and now that we've made the nutrition goal attractive, we're going to talk about how you can make your nutrition goal easy. Okay, first things first, fam, you need to get your reps in. This is where Clear says you need to acting and practicing. So here you need to be acting on and practicing your nutrition goal. Practice makes progress. So personally, I wouldn't want you to keep seeing doctor after doctor, practitioner after practitioner, doing things like getting your blood test ran to figure out which nutritional deficiencies that you have over and over again, and then Googling article after article on which diet may be best for you, which new, kind of meal plans may be best for you. I want you to actually practice and implement now. Start swapping out a food and see how it's going to actually help you, and make sure you document that and see how it actually helps your body. See if it doesn't help your body, document how it makes you feel, because the only way you're going to actually bridge the gap in between the nutritional goal, the nutritional habit that you have now, and the nutritional habit that you want, and or the nutritional deficiency that you have and not having that nutritional deficiency. But the only way you're going to bridge that gap is by actually practicing. It's by actually swapping out the things, implementing different strategies. Some of the examples that we have used in episode 1 and episode 2, you're only going to know if they're helping you or they're not effective for you, whichever it turns out to be. You're only going to know that if you're practicing and acting upon those nutritional habits fam. So just get your reps in. That's the most important thing to say. Get your reps in, fam. Okay. So I know that may seem like a lot of effort in the beginning, but it's all a means to an end. Because once you keep getting your reps in, fam, that's going to lead to it eventually getting what? Easier. Yes, and that's the point. So here, this is what leads you to what Clear calls the law of least effort, or for me, it's synonymous with the path of least resistance. Personally, that's what I'm gonna call it. It's meant for you to get to a point where you are able to rationalize for your unique life when you're presented with different options on things that are pertaining to your goal or may take away from your goal. You're able to follow the path of least resistance so that you are able to either stay on track or keep pursuing your nutrition goal. So for example, because I want to keep everything congruent, I'm going to talk about the example that we used last episode, which was making it attractive. Go back and watch, where you are needing to take in more vegetables. And you do have the option, you're presented with two different options. You can come home from whatever adult obligation you have outside of your home and chop those vegetables up, cut them up, put them in the oven, or saute them stovetop, or put them in the microwave for steam, however you choose to cook them. And you can do that every night that you need to. Or you can do what I said as part of the implement intention, habit stacking or temptation bundling, where you can take the thing that you want to do, which is maybe go to a restaurant after work, and the thing that you need to do, which is intake more vegetables, and you can sub out a menu item for the vegetable. Instead of the usual item, you can have it with the vegetables, or you can double up the amount. And that way it could be an easier way for you to your veggie intake for the day. I know some people may be like, oh, well, why are you encouraging eating out? It's just an example, first of all. And two, it's not me encouraging eating out. It's encouraging the path of least resistance or least effort. Because continuously running into obstacles when you're trying to develop a habit may lead to burnout. And you don't want to get to a point where you're just not doing it at all. Because, for example, us having vegetables is important. We need the fiber, we need the nutrients as humans from vegetables in some shape or form. And then, you can lead up to a point where you don't want to do it anymore. And now you have imbalances because that's an important food group that's not in your diet because you don't have the energy to expend on it. And so it's like now you're imbalanced and you're back at square one. Now what? So it's important to follow the law of least effort or the path of least resistance. So stick with me, fam. And this is connected to taking the friction out of achieving a new goal or a new nutritional goal in this instance. You can continue to do that, to take the friction out of achieving your new nutritional goal or nutritional habit by doing what Clear calls priming your environment for future use, which is basically where you're physically setting up your environment to support your new nutritional habit or your new goal. But in this case, we're talking about nutritional habit. You're physically setting it up. So for example, you just got off an in-depth initial intake call with yours truly. And we have deduced, for example, that one of your main goals is that you are deficient in vitamin B. Yep, that's right, fam. You the vitamin B. And so I asked you, okay, so in your life, what would be the best way you feel that you can achieve optimal levels of vitamin B? And you're like, okay, is there any supplements or, powders or anything that I could add to my drinks or take in the morning time like that for me to be able to supplement my vitamin B to get it back to optimal levels? Because where I'm at in life right now, I just can't be cooking. Like I can't come home and cook, or I'm just not going to have the time. It's not even about desire. Cool. So we take that now. Once you go buy the supplements or order them to your home and they're physically in your home, you have now primed your environment for future use. Two, you can say you buy a pill organizer and you take them physically out of your bottle. You got one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're physically priming your environment for future use because they're out of that bottle more in your eyesight now and they're ready to rock and roll. Three, you take the pill organizer and you set it by your coffee maker or your tea maker or wherever's the last point of touch contact before you go out the door in the morning or for the day whenever you leave your home. And you're more likely to see it in your line of sight and grab it and take one before you leave for the day. You have physically primed your environment for future use. You have now decreased or taken some of the friction out of achieving your nutrition goal. You have now followed the law of least effort. You have now followed the path of least resistance. Do you see where we're going with this? You know what I'm saying? It's really a process. It's really steps to this, and it's really a method to the madness. This is a great segue into the 2-minute rule for creating new habits. So doing something like taking a supplement so that you can have optimal levels of vitamin B or whatever nutritional supplement you need, it will take no time at all, certainly less than 2 minutes. And that is the purpose, so that you can stick with it longer, or you're able to execute it constantly, more and more every day. And there's nothing saying that you can't eventually start cooking meals and adding new ingredients. That is definitely encouraged, and add that layer to your new nutrition goal and your habit, because we are trying to make this a lifestyle. But it's more important to take out the friction, to take out the resistance, to remove the obstacles as much as possible, so that you are able to execute your new goal or your new habit again and again and again, so that you can reach your goal. And it has taken out, the work out of it, so that you can make obtaining your nutrition goal easy. You see what I'm saying? And so yes, just like that, just like this third law, it was easy peasy lemon squeezy. We have reached the end of this video. Thank you so much if you stayed till now. Thank you so much if you're a subscriber. If you have not subscribed yet, do that. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share, subscribe, come inside. You know what I'm saying? You can comment below. I am on TikTok and Instagram under the same exact name, so you can call me, beat me if you want to reach me. You know what I'm saying? And like I was saying, this is a series. We have one more to go before I start making different YouTube videos. I do have some in mind, but if there are different topics that you guys want me to touch on, please comment them below and I will be happy to do so. If you have not, go back and watch the first 2 videos. So this can all make sense, and make sure you keep that pen and that paper out, honey, because I'm always dropping the information that's going to make sense, so that you can actually get useful information, so that you can actually get to executing your new habits, so that you can get to your nutrition goal. And as always, peace and love. Mwah.